Hey everyone, it's Cyrano, and today I'm going to do a review on Mass Effect 1. Now, I plan to do a review on each of the Mass Effects as I go through them, up to 3, and the latest DLC for Mass Effect 3. I'll just start on the first game, and well, what you can see going right now is the combat system, and it's fast-paced, but it's not as tight as a normal shooter. For example, as you can see, the AI just seems to charge you even though they have guns, and there is no real melee combat. If someone gets close to you, you press the shoot button and you hit them instead of shooting them. And this just makes the combat really weird, because it's actually a cover-based combat system like Gears of War, but because everyone charges you, it makes that cover-based system almost completely pointless. I mean, you might as well almost get out a shotgun and just run around shooting things. Now, there's no ammo, and guns, they overheat if they get used too much. Now, it does get annoying when you have to babysit the heat bar in the bottom left-hand corner instead of watching the action and then participating in the action. And a lot of these guns, like this assault rifle, can be quite shit until it's upgraded with stats. So the experience doesn't start off great either at all from the start. But it gets really tight by the end, as best as it can be, considering the AI just seems to just charge you over and over again. And that's every enemy. It's not even just this enemy here, it's every enemy just seems to charge you. No one really wants to fight with a cover-based system at all. Anyway, with the combat system, it ties into the inventory system where, as you go along and you level up, the items you find are just higher level items of the same item you're using. So, you know, you might have like Assault Rifle 1, then you might find Assault Rifle 5, literally it just says like Assault Rifle 5 with the Assault Rifle's name. Very, very basic system. I just wish that it had a more complex stat system in it. A lot of RPGs out, like Fallout 3 for example, have maintained their really complex RPG systems, and it's worked for them. So I don't know why a game like Mass Effect tries to really cut down on that. And I know why. It's because they just want to keep things moving along. They don't want you to get bogged down on the inventory. Now, getting bogged down on your inventory might be fine on a PC game, because you've got the controls for that. But on the console, it's just a real pain in the ass to do that sort of thing with a controller. So by removing it, they're trying to make it easier. But I don't think they've done a really good job with it. One of the biggest strengths of Mass Effect is there's not much sci-fi out these days, and to have a fresh sci-fi world such as Mass Effect, it's just really satisfying to go and explore that world, and there's a lot of detail here, making the game just really worth playing through and trying to find all those nooks and crannies. One thing with the combat that I really hate is that you have to hold down the right mouse button to zoom, which really makes the aiming quite difficult, especially if you're trying to shoot. I really wish they would have patched in an option just to click once to zoom in, because that really works much better with a mouse, but it must be a holdover from the console where you pull the trigger to zoom. I just wish small things like that would have been updated. It would have been a much better experience from a shooter point of view. One of probably the biggest thing about Mass Effect is the conversation system. It has had a massive impact on the game industry. There's lots of games which use the same system, which didn't pretty much exist until this one came along, and it's a system that gives you choice. Mostly it's an illusion of choice. Nothing you do really affects the major parts of the game. But it does give you a feeling of control, a feeling of participating, and it's just been copied everywhere. There's a few mini games in this. You drive an all-purpose vehicle around, which is great when you're doing it before a mission. You go into the mission, you get on the all-terrain vehicle, you complete this sort of minigame as you go in. That's great. But then it's incorporated into another part of the game where you're exploring the universe, and it just bounces around like a rock with no gravity. Just bounce, bounce, bounce. It's not fun. And what's worse is when you're exploring the galaxy. The galaxy is just made up of copy and pasted rooms, and that part is just not fun to explore whatsoever. So the main storyline with Mass Effect is probably one of the best I've seen, but as soon as you try to explore the world, you just let down with just the same room everywhere, the same quests everywhere. Even the planets, it's just too similar. The game also features a codex which has information on the entire universe, and it's voiced. A lot of it's voiced, and it really adds a lot to the game. This is Cyrano, and this is the first review I've done for Mass Effect. Look forward to a Mass Effect 2 review, which should be along shortly. Mass Effect I'll have to give probably an 8 out of 10. Main reasons being the main storyline, while good, the rest of the world is just copy-pasted rubbish. It's just not even worth playing. And the inventory system is a big letdown. It's probably, they're doing like an RPG light sort of way, trying to make it easier to play. But it just doesn't work, or at least they haven't figured it out yet. And because of that very poor inventory, average combat with AI that just seems to charge you, and the copy-pasted universe, I really have to give it just the 8. This is Cyrano, and I'll see you next time.
A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
For most times shot. SOS.